Hey there, Jon Chorba here from ReallyEasyGuitarLessons.com, and in this video lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play an easy strummy version of Rainy Day Women 12 and 35 by Bob Dylan, also known as the song where he just keeps singing, "Everybody Must Get Stoned." So this is a great song for the very new guitar player. There's only 3 chords, an E, an A, and a B7. 3 of the easiest chords to change between when you are on the new side of things. So it's 3 chords, 1 chord progression, simple strumming pattern for the entire song. Let's jump in and get started. So first, we got to put a capo on the first fret to be in the key of the song. So if you want, you don't necessarily have to put the capo on, but if you want to be in the original key, capo on the first fret, and everything is going to be in relationship to the capo. And like I told you in the beginning of the video, 3 chords, an E, open E string, 2nd fret A, 2nd fret D, 1st fret G, open B, open E, all 6 strings for an E chord. And then we're going to do an A, which you can either do the scrunch version where you get all 3 fingers into the 2nd fret of the D, G, and B. I'm actually going to play the A like this, with my first finger holding down the D, G, and B string, open A string, not playing either E. So that's the version I'm going to roll with for this song. And then a B7, 2nd fret A, 1st fret D, 2nd fret G, open B, do not play either of the E strings. Okay, so just 3 chords, the whole song. E, A, and B7. And the song is in a format which is called a 12-bar blues. So the entire progression lasts 12 measures. A measure equals 4 beats. And the pattern is going to be E for 4 measures. Okay, so E for 16 total beats. And then you're going to change to A for 2 measures, 8 total beats. Then back to E for 2 measures, 8 total beats. And then B7 for 2 measures. And then E for 2 measures. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and put the song on and do what I call chord placing, which is simply I'm going to strum on beat 1 and change chords where they belong in the timeline. I'm doing this to the isolated vocal and a metronome.
Well, they'll stone you when you're trying to be so good. They'll stone you just like they said they would. They'll stone you when you're trying to go home. Then they'll stone you when you're there all alone. But I would not feel so all alone. Everybody must get stoned. Well,
and then for a strumming pattern, we're going to do down-up strumming, but the feel of the song is what would be called a shuffled rhythm. It's shuffled 8th notes. So that means it's, there's a difference between straight 8th notes and shuffled 8th notes. So straight 8th notes sound like a ticking clock. They're very even. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4. But shuffled 8th notes sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. You're still doing down-up strumming. It's just that "and" is closer to the next beat as opposed to being directly in the middle of the 2 beats, okay? So we're doing down-up strumming. And I would do this. I would do your down strum to be on the low part of the chord and your up strum to be on the high part of the chord. So instead of going like that, I would go... Right, I'm just splitting the chord in half between low strings and high strings, no matter what chord you're on. You could do that. Just be careful. When I was just playing that A there, I hit the low E string by accident. You want to watch out for that, and also watch on the B7. You definitely don't want to be hitting the E string. So you got to be a little more dialed in with your strumming hand, making sure that you're strumming the right amount of string. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put that isolated vocal back on, and I'm going to strum through 2 verses of the song with the chord progression and the strumming pattern.
Well, they'll stone you when you're trying to be so good. They'll stone you just like they said they would. They'll stone you when you're trying to go home. They'll stone you when you're there all alone. But I would not feel so all alone. Everybody must get stoned. Well, they'll stone you when you're walking on the street. They'll stone you when you're trying to keep your seat. They'll stone you when you're walking on the floor. They'll stone you when you're walking through the door. But I would not feel so all alone. Everybody must get stoned. They'll stone you when...
And for the song structure, you're just doing that chord progression over and over and over again. You do it 1 time for the intro, so 1 time for the verse. So you have an intro, 3 verses in a row, a break where it's instrumental, and then another verse, another break, another verse, and then the outro. But again, you're just doing that 1 chord progression with those 3 chords and that strumming pattern for the entire song. And like with all really easy strummy versions of songs, you want to follow the same process. Number 1, make sure that you know how to play the chords. If you don't know an E, you don't know an A, you don't know a B7, you've got to start there. And then spend some time just practicing changing between each of those chords. They're relatively easy for the new, beginner guitar player, but if any one of those changes gives you a problem, focus on it in isolation big time. And then when you add strumming to it, always listen for that gap of doom. If you hear long gaps of silence when you are strumming chords, that is always a signal that you need to work on your chord changes more in isolation. All right, that's it for this video lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.